Hello, everyone. Welcome, Knights. Thank you for connecting with us today. This is a another edition of our Good Nights podcast, and today we have, as usual, we have some special guests. Today, we're going to talk about a topic, about a program that is very, very dear and near to all of us. We are very proud of the students that are participating in this program. This is one of many programs that we have here at Bravo, and so I would like to first. Let my co-host introduce herself.
I am Samantha Arida. I am also part of the HOSA and Biotech program.
Awesome, Samantha. And we also have Kathy and we have Provati. Kathy and Provati are members of the both HOSA and Biotech, but they're also incoming secretary and incoming treasurer for the club. And so welcome, welcome. So what we're going to ask you about is many things, but mainly, what do you think you've gained from your being part of the program? Why is it so important, and should we keep it at Bravo?
Most definitely. I think my biggest takeaway from this program is getting a lot of insight into the medical field, especially working with a bunch of speakers and modules. I think this program is a great thing to take advantage of, especially if you want to pursue a career in medicine.
Also, adding on to that, I don't think this club is specifically meant for people who are interested in medicine, but the STEM field in general, because our modules consist of speakers from all different sectors, from just biology, engineering, like people who are solely focused on that. And I feel like if you have a vast interest in the STEM field, and as a general, you can get to experience a lot more things through this program.
To build onto what Kathy said, the biotech program is really broad in what it introduces to us. It shows us, for example, we had a data scientist come and teach us. We also had stem cell scientists come and teach us. Like, it really shows you how broad medicine really can be, and it's not only a one-way thing.
And one of the things that I always talk to students about is, if you're interested, you should join. But many students feel like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not good enough. What would you say to someone like that who says, maybe I don't want to do it because I'm not smart enough?
I would just tell them to just go for it. If it doesn't work out, you can always switch out depending on your interest. But from my experience personally, I wasn't really aware of all the different fields of science or like just the STEM field in general. So getting into this program, I was a little bit scared, but as soon as I got like adjusted into it, talking to our sponsor and our teacher, Mrs. Ramirez Cruz, I got to I learned that like you don't have to be ashamed of like what you don't know, and just be excited for what you are about to know and what you can do for the future.
That's a great way to look at it. What about you, Pravati?
Yeah, I agree. I don't really think you need any previous knowledge to come into this program. It's more like exploring and learning new things.
Yeah, biotech really nurtures you just from the beginning. Like, even if you don't know anything, you can always start out from nothing, and they will teach you so much. It's really helpful.
It's very impressive, the projects that you guys make. I've seen some of them posted on the hallways. But I'm very impressed with HOSA. HOSA is a statewide program, right?
Nation.
International.
It's a national program. So tell us a little bit about what that is.
So, HOSA, it's mostly for students who want to pursue careers in medicine, like health professionals. And it's like based on every single school. There's a lot of positions you can take, or you can just be a member, and it really like nurtures a lot of idea and knowledge into you. Doesn't have to be like specifically about the STEM or medicine or anything like that, but I feel very like close to my members who are like my teammates who are also in HOSA, because we get to do a lot of activities together.
And also adding on to that, as HOSA is on, so our HOSA is on the state level. It's California HOSA, but there's also like the national HOSA and the international HOSA. So it's pretty branched out. And one of the events that our state has is the State Leadership Conference, in which Provati and I were very lucky to attend. through there we got to experience a bunch of like different speakers, different general sessions with the HOSA state officers, and we got to interact with a lot of people from like other different schools with HOSA clubs and people who have an interest in pursuing a field in medicine.
HOSA is a great international program that is more of a competition based, just to like set the knowledge of what HOSA is. And basically, you choose a topic that you want to, just a competition that you want to be a part of. And then you create things around it. Like there's the tests that they have that are just test based, and there's presentations. And so you win at our level here, and then you go to the conference. So we were lucky that we had some winners from our school to go and participate in those.
You know, and so I can see the contributions to academic knowledge, to intellectual development, if you will. One of the things that I'm very proud of, and that I'm really always excited about being here at Bravo, is that Bravo has so many different opportunities for different interests. So we have dance, we have music, we have all kinds of different art, and HOSA, biotech, public health, and different things, right, that are of interest to students. And when we talk about some of those things, many of the students talk about, I was so shy when I first came to Bravo, but being on stage and dancing helped me to become a little bit more confident. So they talk about their personal development, their character, talk to us a little bit about how that being part of biotech and HOSA helped you individually, right? Not just academically, not just like, I'm finding more about careers, but as a person, what difference has it made?
Honestly, I've seen a lot of personal growth ever since the first day of school in August that HOSA has helped me with, because especially going to the conference, it really helped me get closer with everyone else who was there, especially like sharing hotel rooms. It really felt like we bonded on a different level.
Adding on to that, for specifically the biotechnology program, I just felt that I was lacking in so many ways before coming into this program, and I was afraid that my lack of skills would show throughout like the course. But I learned that again, it's not there's nothing wrong with trying. And also just like getting to meet just like professionals who are in the field maybe that you're interested in. It's just so inspiring to me. It's because like maybe I want to do something that they're pursuing. I can always like ask them for advice, and I won't be afraid to just go to them and just like ask them for questions or like any advice that they may have, and like also ask for suggestions.
Yeah, I think HOSA also definitely nurtures independence as well. Like, for example, our microbiology module, where we were working on our own, creating our own research questions, which was a great way to introduce us to that type of the world. We had to create our own like research question base, and then we went and we created bacteria, like we used bacteria, and then we tested out to see if our research question was true or not. So that was a module that really resonated with me. I don't know if you guys have any that really kept close to heart?
I definitely think the microbiology module is a big part of it too. I also thought the locomotor module was pretty interesting. Locomotor is basically like machinery that are mostly used on people with disabilities, and like to help them just like walk and stuff like that. We had, I think, Dr. Jamie Finley come in and talk, but I felt that it was a very like interesting module just because I was never really like interested in the engineering field until he came in. I thought it was pretty interesting.
I would have to say my favorite module had to do with stem cells, presented by Dr. Carol Liu, I believe, and it really opened up like a new interest for me into exploring like cell biology and even like cancer research, which I am really interested in now, and I feel like I don't think I would have if it wasn't for that module.
Yeah, speaking on those speakers, we've had a lot of speakers come in this year for the biotech and the HOSA club. So it's great being able to talk to these people that you would never be able to talk to without these type of programs that Miss Dela Cruz runs.
It's a privilege.
It's definitely a privilege just to be able to be a part of it. And I want more people to know about it, because I didn't know about it until my sophomore year when we had Club Rush. And I think this is a great way to just let it out and hope more people join it. The HOSA program is only limited to next year will only be limited to the patient health,
Public health.
and biotech students. But joining biotech as a junior or even public health as a senior, it's a great opportunity.
Definitely.
I'm a little intimidated by the intelligent discussion that's going on. But that's great. I wanted, and I'm sort of a rebel rouser sometimes. So I like to talk about and introduce topics that are maybe a little bit controversial, but I think are important topics to discuss. And that is, all you three are females, right? And we're talking about a STEM field, a science field that is, I think, not very well represented by female students or females or even females of color. And so we're talking about, we are here. And so has that played a role? Has that, was that something that you thought about, or was that being part of this program helped you feel like, oh, no, there is no problem. I can do it, because I have, there are ways that I can do it and I'll be fine.
I personally think that being in this program kind of helped me just realize that, because before this program, I didn't really know a lot of females in the STEM industry.
Mhm.
Most of the names were like all males. So when I joined, I honestly, for like when she first introduced that we were gonna like talk to speakers were gonna like talk to us.
Mhm.
I was like kind of like, oh, like what if it's just like all males? What if there's like no more like female representation? But we saw a lot of speakers come in, and they were just like like all these like female minds. They were like so just like empowering, or whatever they had in mind really resonated with me, just because I know the STEM field is very underrepresented with females, and I felt that like them doing like them just like talking to us about like what they do like as their career, as their job. It was just really inspiring for me to also pursue something in the STEM field and hopefully be like them in the future.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, it's empowered me with all the speakers coming in. I've seen a lot of diversity in them, different backgrounds, different races, different everything, and it doesn't really limit me, or like I feel scared like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it because I'm a female and a female of color. But no, it's really nothing to be afraid of, in my opinion.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So they're doing a good job then.
Oh,
Bringing
yeah.
in speakers, different diverse students, speakers to make sure that they're giving you examples. Go ahead. Samantha.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't grow up with knowing a lot of people that were in STEM, especially females of color. So I think it was great to be able to see that and like know that it is possible and like we could step up to it and it shouldn't limit us at all. I think one of the groups of speakers that we had recently, we had a neurosurgeon, neuroradiologist, I believe, and then a program coordinator. We were able to sit and talk at different tables with whoever we wanted to talk about, and it was just a great experience to be able to have. Speaking about the HOSA club, I know we had a lot of speakers, and we had it on Zoom and in person. What is one of the presentations that you guys felt?
I felt that the presentations on the American Chemical Society, they were really interesting just because for myself, I take AP chemistry as well. So it was very interesting to see a vast knowledge of chemistry just from like experts in the field, because the American Chemical Society is such like a renowned like program, and we were just so glad to be able to listen to what professionals thought and like what are current ongoing problems in the world right now, and like how chemistry is used in those problems to help fix them. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was going to talk about that too. As a student of, I'm taking AP chemistry, and I really thought that presentation, it seemed like kind of familiar to me because it's material that I've seen before, but it was like at a whole new level and how this can impact our environment, and it was really cool to learn about.
So having had this experience already in the program, both programs, the vision and the mission for this podcast is to raise student voice and to affirm student voice, meaning that when you guys have criticism or input or feedback for us, that we try to use it to get better, right? To do a better job. What would you say you would recommend the principal or the coordinator or any one of us that would make the program even more impactful?
I think I could speak to that. I would say just get more voice out of it. Like, I honestly didn't know about the biotech program. So I think posting it on Schoology, just open invites, having flyers around, maybe posters, which obviously biotech and HOSA students would want to help on and be a part of. I think that would be a great way to get the voice out and everyone to know the program more.
Yeah, I had no idea what HOSA was. I just saw a random flyer on the whiteboard in my biotech class, and I asked Mrs. Dela Cruz, like, Miss, what is this? And then she gave me a little insight on the program, and I was like, okay, kind of interesting. I'll try it out, see how it works. Yeah, I didn't know a thing about it.
I think it's also important just like maybe like or not convince, but like maybe like try like encouraging the people in biotech and in HOSA to just spread the word to underclassmen that might be interested in the program in the future. And I know like if you're like a freshman, like it's still like 1 to 2 long years, but trust me, time will go by so fast.
I know, right?
And you'll have the decision to choose if you want to go into different pathways. And that was me too. I was also in between patient care and biotech, but ultimately I chose biotech because most of the seniors that took biotech have mentioned it to me, and they told me how lovely the program was. So I was really intrigued by that, and I joined, and I don't regret joining ever since.
Awesome. As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about, okay, how do I do that? How do I make that into a reality? And we're having, I'm sure, well, I don't know, maybe you didn't participate in our ninth grade Spirit Day because of COVID, but in years past, we had Spirit Day. So we would bring in the ninth grade class and we would spend the whole day with them with different events. I don't know if you were part of it, but
I don't
no.
remember.
So we stopped because of COVID, and we're going to restart again. So we invite all of our new ninth graders. We do games, tours. We introduce folks, and then we have a barbecue with them at the end of the day. And I'm listening, and I'm thinking maybe you can all come in and speak to them. Your
Yeah.
perspective, and you can let them know what the program is all about and get them interested right away. So we're going to do it again. We're going to try and bring that back, and that will be sometime in August before school starts again. So I'm personally inviting you to be part of that, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. To build on that, the biotech program is not only your junior year, it does move on to your senior. Well, only select students are chosen for our senior year, and I was wondering if you can talk about what the next step in the program is.
Sure. So there is a variety of labs to choose from, and these labs, you go over to the research campus next door, 5th and 6th period, so 2 hours. Sometimes you even have to stay after school. So I'd have to say it's a pretty big commitment. Like, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. And our next step is going to be, selecting the labs that we're interested in and having to interview for them. So we have to get chosen by the people who are like funding the lab or like sponsoring it.
And adding on to that, I think throughout the course, Ms. Dela Cruz has provided a wide variety of resources that we can use for interviews. She had us prep for like interview questions. She gave us like sample interview questions, and I feel like that will greatly help with the process of just like applying for a lab and getting into lab. And talking about labs, there's 2 different types of labs it's like divided into. So there's a wet lab and a dry lab, with the wet lab being more focused on hands-on and like more like just like bacteria, like those hands-on activities, while the dry labs consist of mostly coding. So people who are interested in coding can also just join some labs that have like the main focus on like coding. And I find that really cool because I wasn't really involved in coding until the modules that we did in biotech. I found coding pretty interesting. Like, it's kind of hard, but like after slowly learning it, I'm kind of more interested in that too.
Awesome. Well, I ran out of questions, Samantha. So do you have any more?
I think just one more question about HOSA. I know you guys went to the conference and you saw a bunch of different presentations. What is one of the topics that you guys like all looked at and can bring back to HOSA and what you learned in HOSA?
I think throughout the general sessions, there were a lot of speakers from like renowned organizations. And since HOSA partners with a bunch of organizations related to the healthcare field, we just saw those people talking about their personal experience, like how they got to there, and like how, or it was just like an inspirational like speech. And since there were like 3 general sessions, there were like 2 speakers, I think, presenting. I found that pretty cool just because I know the speakers at our HOSA club specifically, they come from like, I would say like different backgrounds, but they're all like pretty much like similar on like how they got there. But I feel like the speakers at HOSA have a little bit more different experience just because they're not from our area. They're from like out like elsewhere. So I thought that it was like just pretty inspiring just listening to like whatever experience they like went through during their time in their specific career path.
I think I liked the workshops more because it felt like I liked the workshops a little bit more. They were a little more hands-on. There were CPR like demonstrations. There were suturing demonstrations. But I would have to say at times it would get a little overwhelming just because there's so many students. But I think I like that a bit more.
Actually, I do have one more request. If you were to send a message to our incoming ninth graders, if you don't have a chance to come to the ninth grade orientation or ninth grade spirit day, what would you tell them about Bravo and about biotech and HOSA specifically?
I would have to say if you came to this school because of the word medical magnet, that you're in the right place.
For sure. And I feel like for the biotech, I would just say like, even if you're not interested specifically in the field of medicine, if you're interested in the STEM field as a whole, definitely join it. Just because you get to experience a variety of different modules. You get to talk with renowned professionals. Very inspiring. I highly recommend joining biotech. It's a really fun program to be a part of.
And
Yeah.
you make great connections.
Yeah, it shows you that not everyone has the same path. Not everyone goes the same way. A lot of people think that high school is it, but a lot of people do struggle through high school. And I think biotech really shows you that it's okay. You can always come back and nothing's impossible.
Thank you. Those are all great messages, and I think the biggest message that I always try to give students is do something. Do something. Try something. Don't shy away. Don't ever think that you're not good enough for whatever it is that you're interested in, whether it's this program or that program or art or whatever the case may be. Do it. Be part of it. Get on the court, right? It makes a difference when you're actually on the court playing than when you're just in the public bleachers, watching, right, and not being part of it. And so, and that's just a metaphor. I mean, right? You all understand. I don't need to explain metaphors to you. So thank you, Provida, and Provati. I'm sorry, Provati. I knew I was gonna mess that up, Provati. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. Kathy and Samantha. And I think thank you for your contributions and your ideas and your thoughts.
Thank you guys for coming.
I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling proud of you guys. I really am. It's really awesome to be able to speak and to be able to listen to student voice. And I hope that we can get you to come for that Spirit Day.
For sure.
All right. And so thank you for joining us today. And as usual, always be a good night. Have a good day.